You happy with your progress?
Well, I think so. Like, I still am only, yes. I think, yes.
I still am only yes.
Oh, there's so much to do. I'm freaking out. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Jono.
And this is Reno Goals. The living room.
Had a couple of naps on that couch.
Couple. I've got very fond memories of this living room. This was actually where I first met your parents. Do you remember this?
No.
You don't? We'd only been dating for like a month and you invited me to stay for the weekend. Yeah. But you failed to mention that your parents were there. You told me like literally when we were already on the way in the car. Yeah. I made you pull over, stop at a bottle-o, grab a bottle of wine. I walked into the door, introduced myself, and they had no idea who I was.
Sounds about right.
You hadn't even told them about me.
Probably not.
It was so embarrassing. Anyway, the rest is history, it's safe to say, but there are many fond memories in this living room. There's a lot of love and soul in that room, but it does need a bit of a makeover, doesn't it?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. To be honest, the size of the pieces in here is probably not right. Like it might be just a bit too kind of heavy. So I want to kind of have a look at that. But I love this fireplace. Do you know what? I actually really like these river stones. Jono, do you like the river stones?
I'm kind of sick of the river stones. I think we can do something a little bit better.
We probably can, but I actually really like them. But I want to keep that kind of warm vibe. I really like that organic nature of the stone. Do you know what? It's just bitsy. Like there's just bits and pieces that have been collected over time and it just needs to be pulled together a little bit more. I love it. I love this home. Like it's got epic vibes. We just need to bring it all together a little bit more. So this is going to be a really fun cosmetic makeover.
A little bit more than cosmetic. We've got a lot of hard work to get done first. With your progress?
Well, I think so. Like, I still am only yes. I think yes.
I still am only yes.
Oh, there's so much to do. I'm freaking out. How do you feel about a couple of options, right? Option one, VJ paneling all of this ceiling and then flat easy panel everywhere else. Or VJ just here, flat plain ceiling here, and VJ along this side wall.
I think we do VJ in the kitchen, living,
where,
on the
walls.
Walls. What do you think?
All right, well, another question. If you want VJ here, do we want to go up vertical or do we want to actually run it horizontal to link in with the weatherboard feeling? But downstairs, definitely I'm going to run vertical. But here I'm wondering, what if we actually go fatter, wider, maybe 150mm spacing, and we run it horizontally.
I might have to see an example. I think it usually looks better vertical.
Okay, so I have finally decided on the cladding for the living room. We're going to be running with EasyCraft VJ100 on all of the walls. That's going to be running vertically, and then Gyprock for a nice, perfectly smooth ceiling. So now that I understand that, I'm working on my layout. I've done a couple of sketches here. I do want to keep the layout quite similar to what we had before, but I'm just making better choices in terms of the furniture pieces that are in there. In a living room, zoning is incredibly important. I want to make sure I get the right size rug and the right size furniture as well. So I've actually chosen to use a 3.3 by 2.4 meter rug. It's essentially as large as I can go in this space. The reason why I want to do that is because it will create a really generous zone, and that way it'll create the perfect base for me to layer on top of it. So don't choose a rug that's too small. It creates more lines. It can feel a bit cluttered and busy. Try and go as big as you can, and then that way you can layer on top for a beautiful, lush, plush living room.
So in the upstairs, while we're back to bare studs, we have the opportunity to retrofit some insulation, which is going to make a huge difference to this room. I've already installed the R2.5 Bradford gold bats into the external walls, and we're using the sound screen product on all the internal walls. One thing to note when retrofitting an older house, you might be working with non-standard spacings between your studs. The only thing that changes is you might have to cut bats a little bit more and make sure that you're using all the offcuts to fill as many gaps as possible and get a good seal. And when the gyprock ceiling's up, we'll jump up into the ceiling, fill any gaps that we've missed, as well as replace any bats that might have been moved while other things are being installed by other trades.
It's floor day. Very exciting. Also a little bit premature because the ceiling should be done, the wall should be done, but we are charging forward because we're on deadline. We've just got to get it done. And I'm excited once we get these floorboards down. Be good. So my interior design concept for the living room is an earthy retreat. I want warm neutrals, I want lots of texture, natural tones layered on top of each other. So what I've actually got here is a couple of samples. I've chosen my rug. I had a couple to choose from, but I quite like this one. This is from Miss Amara. I quite like the weave, and I also like the warmth in the tone as well. It works really beautifully with the timber on the floors. I'm going to be bringing in some more timber as well, probably in the side tables and also in the chair. I also really want to make sure I've got some more stone in there. Again, that natural element, I want to really warm up this palette. Now I've actually chosen the couch already. It's from Globe West and it's a washed grey, like a smoky grey linen. I don't actually have a proper sample of it, but this is good enough to give you a bit of an idea of what the grey is going to start to look like. When I went back and checked in on my original concept, I very much wanted to make sure it was very void of colour. I just wanted to make sure there was lots of whites, cream, beige, that sort of thing. And I tried to do that, but I kind of just can't. Like, I can't not put colour in things. It's just how I'm wired, so I really needed to bring some colour into this space. So I did find some chairs that are a beautiful green velvet. So I love the way that green makes everything kind of pop a little bit more. So this is looking great, but it's also looking a little bit soft. So the other element that's going to add a bit more texture and heaviness is this beautiful red gum. That's a very special mantle that Jono's Orpa made. So this is just a representation of how kind of strong and striking that red gum's going to be. And then from that, I want to make sure that there's leather in there as well to tie into what we've done in the dining room. I want some fresh white pieces, probably in my decor, maybe in the cushions, and that will help to freshen it up. And then in order to tie in with some of that green, I want to pick that up in some other accents, maybe in artwork, but also bring in just, you know, natural greenery. And that, guys, that is a vibe.
You don't have a tool belt.
I need like a, hang on.
Spin it.
Oh, this is dangerous. Seamless. Living room update. I actually wanted to show you the fireplace, but I can't because it's covered with gyprock. Once that's gone, I'll be able to show you the fireplace because Stephen, your brother Stephen, did a wonderful job of cleaning up the original river stones.
Yeah, they look way better than I did.
They look fantastic.
Filled all the cracks.
Yeah.
Polished all the rocks.
You did do such a good job. And I think considering the fact that we've pretty much gutted this house, I'm very happy to be keeping a few original pieces. Let me plant the seed for you. We're going to have the TV over here as it was, but it will be wall mounted. Need to sort that out, by the way, Jono.
No, we've already marked it and we've already put extra timber behind it. It's ready to go.
Notice that. You've made it a little bit higher than I probably would have wanted. But
well, you can make it a little bit lower then, that's fine. But
okay, all right. Couch all the way along here, a little occasional chair, probably 2 featured chairs, coffee table. Very similar layout to what we had before, but just different pieces because before I found that the pieces were a little bit heavy. And so I wanted to bring in some different style furniture in order to lighten up the space. But this is gonna look beautiful and I love the ceilings. I just can't wait to paint. Let me paint already.
How's your painting going?
Good. I'm winning, as they say, Jono. I'm doing my second round of cutting in, and then I think I potentially might do a third coat with the roller, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it needs it.
It's looking all right.
Yeah, I'm liking it. So very happy with it. Very happy with the colour. I did a lot of swatches. It took me a long time. May have changed my mind a couple of times, didn't I?
I think you did.
It took me a little while, but I'm happy. Do you know what it is? There's so many different elements in this room. The light changes a lot throughout. And also we've got these stones of the fireplace, which we're working with. So it needed to complement that, but I love how warm it is. It's quite earthy and it picks up on some of these tones as well. There's a fair bit of mix of colour in there, but I think we've done pretty well. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Looks good.
Yeah.
Fresh, clean, straight walls. New ceiling.
Yeah. Don't ever want to paint a ceiling ever again. But guess what? I have to this afternoon.
You got all the ones downstairs and the master. Oh no, the master's done.
Say I like painting once. Now I find myself
Full-time
painting
painting
this
gig.
whole damn house.
What are you looking for?
Everything. That's a bottom vase and I love it. I chose these green armchairs, I needed to try and bring other elements of green into this space in order to make a nice cohesive interior. So the way I've done that is by choosing just a couple of select pieces. This beautiful vase, for example, it's got a wonderful green tone in there with some beautiful rich browns. I've also got a lovely clear green vase. I've picked it up in the artwork as well. Cookbooks, side tables, cushions, another green vase.
They're not all the same green and they don't actually have to be, but it's about picking up on that green hue. So that way, when you see those elements around the room, it just feels like a far more cohesive interior.
The living room was actually similar to what was there before, but just better. It's just like 2.0. It's just like pimped.
Similar, but all brand new.
Yeah. The foundations are beautiful. The flooring is awesome. The only original element in the room was that fireplace. That's literally the only thing that stood the test of time. Everything else got gutted.
I wanted to change it.
You did.
But that would have been a lot of work.
Yeah.
And unnecessary work.
Unnecessary.
It looks good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
We also didn't have the budget, to be fair. So, you know, if we want to down the track, maybe. But that beautiful mantle of your Orpers, Leo
Didn't even have to redo it.
No, Leo would be very proud.
Yeah.
So it was great being able to put that back, and I loved the richness of that, and it gave me a nice place to style. I did pare it back a little bit. I love that mirror detail that I put there though. I knew from the start I wanted to put a mirror there because I really wanted to reflect back that view, because now you can see it.
You can see the ocean through the mirror.
When you've got your back face towards the ocean.
Yeah.
Genius. I think the couch made a huge difference. I wanted to maximize that space as best as I could. I love that couch. Like, it is just delicious. I love that linen fabric as well. Beautiful smoky gray. And it's just...
Very beachy.
It's very beachy.
Yeah,
it is.
It
And
works.
oh my gosh, like the rug, I love the large size. Before we didn't have that. I was... To be honest, that was the room I was most excited to style.
Everything in the old room, everything was just creeping into each other.
Yeah.
There was no like definition of space.
So many random
Yeah, there was
things.
just
Stuff everywhere. And I was so excited to get my hands on the styling and to kind of pull that together. I love that coffee table that we got from RJ Living. Beautiful.
Did you carry it up the stairs?
No.
Do you know how heavy it is? Oh my God. It's not a big coffee.
Stone.
It's not big, but it probably weighs 100
Sorry.
kilos. It's so heavy.
Sorry. Heavy, but beautiful. And I brought in some side tables as well because I wanted to make sure that we do kind of move around that space a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that we weren't all basing off one main coffee table, but we did have the ability to move around different side tables as well. I really love the leather in that occasional chair though. So that links in and ties to the leather in the dining chair. So that was from Baseline as well. So same
leather.
timber, same leather. And so I like the fact that they play to each other and connect the two, because that was probably the most important thing, that those two rooms, the living and dining, very much work within each other. The Venetians are good as well on the windows. And I like the fact that we chose those because I wanted to make sure that we could kind of just always have them up as well if we wanted to bring more natural light in.
Yeah.
So we actually raised them higher.
Are they?
Yeah, they're
They're above
higher because I wanted to make sure that when they were fully open, Venetians, you know, they stack.
Yeah.
So they kind of hang over your window. So I wanted to actually position them slightly higher than the window frame itself. That way when they are up, they're not actually blocking any of the window to make sure we
it's
still
not a
get that
huge window
natural
anyway.
light. Yeah. Smart. The only piece that actually survived was that TV unit. That was the
brought
only
that
piece
back.
I kept.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. A new wall mount TV, new soundbar, just sort of simplified that.
Much simpler.
And obviously moved that turntable over to
Away
the
from the
dining room.
turntable.
And so I cleared that out. So it was just focused on, you know, sitting, sharing, convo, watching TV. And I like the addition of those two more formal occasional chairs as well. The biggest challenge was making it a comfortable and cozy interior. So making sure that I didn't completely remove from where it was, but so it still felt like it was part of the home and that the family would be comfortable. But I love the fact that it's still the same living room where I met your parents. It still reminds me of that. You know, it's just better. Okay,
Twofer. We've got to design both a bedroom and a bathroom.
Yeah.
All of my Lucy equations worked.
Lucky.
Let's go have a try. Hang on. Are they coming in with me? Or what? Oh my god, this is happening.
What? What? It goes into the robes. So smart. Why I agreed to be the painter of this house. I actually don't think I ever did agree to being the painter of this house. So remember the old master bedroom?
I do.
Well, now it's a master suite.
Smile, Dusty, smile. He's all crusty-eyed. Should have cleaned him up for his spot on camera. You and me both need a good clean, Dusty.